I've got some trivia for both of you actually as well. I was looking into more things about the stock market being overvalued and how these concentrations change. So just 20 years ago, right, the top 10 stocks in the S&P 500, so 2005, there's only one company who is still in the top 10 now.
I think I know who that is.
Out of all of them, okay?
Of course you do. You know everything.
So top 10 now, you've got, I think in the right order, you've got Nvidia, Microsoft, Apple, you have Broadcom, both of Alphabet's, you have Meta, I think you may have Tesla or Berkshire Hathaway. So out of all of those 10,
Oh, I know which.
if I've got all 10
You
right,
can say one.
I was
which
Go on, say
one,
one. Which one is it?
was also featured in the top 10 of 2005, just 20 years ago.
So 2005 is an interesting period because it's post.com, so that might be the
Yeah.
curveball.
Maybe.
Because I know the one business that's like
I would say
dominated throughout quite a long period of time.
I would say Microsoft or Berkshire Hathaway.
Microsoft, I think.
You're going to go Microsoft. You're going to go
But I think the
Berkshire.
2005 is the curveball because this is post.com bubble. Who else? It wasn't Tesla. It wasn't Nvidia. Berkshire Hathaway. I think it's probably Microsoft.
Microsoft or Berkshire? I'll say Berkshire Hathaway because you said Microsoft.
It was Microsoft.
Damn it, I was
It
saying
was
that
Microsoft.
5
They were probably-
They weren't number one though. They weren't number one. I think they were like 5 or 6.
I think in the 95 they were there as well.
Yeah.
They're like the one company that's consistently...
They've been quite persistent. But yeah, I know both me and Damien have done this in our videos, but it's so interesting when you go back, if you're talking about like stock market concentration, of just how quick things change in the stock market.
I mean, it was Raycon, like all these weapons companies just 10
Raytheon
years
and all these
before.
other
And
ones.
yeah, it's constantly changing who the big guys are.
Yeah, because on this topic of stock market concentration, again, I looked into this a bit more in depth. It's like, who's to say that stock market concentration is necessarily a bad thing? Yeah. So at the moment, although it is higher than it's ever been, especially when you look at the top 10, so it's like 38% of the S&P 500 is in just 10 stocks. Again, to someone starting out, you might think, oh God, is that bad? Is that high? Well, actually, why? I don't know. It's high because these companies are actually making more profit than they've ever done before. And therefore, you would expect more of your money to go there. It's a little bit of a bit inevitable because it's almost like how capitalism works. It's like winner takes all.
Yeah.
You start off with 10 technology companies, 8 of them die because they're rubbish, and the 2 that survive basically.
It's also broadly why you buy the index because Hendrik Bessenbinder says that most companies will deliver no returns.
Correct, yeah.
So you can't find the needle in the haystack, to quote Jack
you buy
Bogle.
everything.
So you buy everything because there's a handful of companies that will deliver the majority of the returns.
Exactly. Because going back to the topic of AI, so I think most people are in agreement that AI, robotics, automation, these topics are probably the future. Just like cars were the future a long, long time ago, and the internet was the future. But we still had the dot-com bubble, and more car companies have gone bust than you will even believe. You can Google this, but there's thousands that have gone bust. But the car was the future. So although AI probably is the future, we still don't know the winners.
Yeah.
And although we might guess and think, oh, well, surely it has to be Nvidia, or it has to be Apple, or it has to be Meta. Well, it doesn't have to be anyone.
Yeah.
It could be a company which today is not even started up in someone's garage down the road.
Like when we thought Ask Jeeves was the one, and then Google popped up and they're like, no, who's Ask Jeeves?
Exactly.
Yeah. So it could be like
Ask
Nvidia
Jeeves.
latest, mate. We're the new Nvidia.
Yeah. Yahoo was huge for a time. I forget what the story was. Someone bought Yahoo at its top. I forget which company bought it, but that just faded out of nowhere. For a lot of people, that was, oh my God, Yahoo, that's the company to own. And you had the Nifty 50 many decades ago as well, all these .com companies. And although some survived, the vast majority of them don't. And I personally think that technology is going to make this cycle faster and faster. I think the companies are probably going to change.
I find that greatly reassuring that the companies at the top continually churn, continually get outrun, and markets have delivered positive returns to investors.
Yeah.
I think people look at that and worry, but I see that as like really affirming in terms of what we do.
I think that's what you want the market to do, really, don't you? You want the new companies, because as companies get bigger, although they have a lot of cash, and in theory they can sometimes buy a lot of their competition, they can buy all these companies.
That is a worry that they become so big that
no one can replace them. That could be, yes. If we go down the bear case again, we could argue now that they could stifle innovation.
But this is a Standard Oil thing. This is where the regulators, they come in and break the companies up, basically.
That's it.
That's like when they're anti-competitive.
But have we had it before like this when companies are so
Standard
big
Oil.
they're making more than like a country?
Rockefeller.
Yeah.
Every basically oil company on the planet traces its roots back to that one man. It's crazy. Exxon and Esso and BP, they were all just his. Was it Standard Oil?
I forget the exact names.
JD Rockefeller. He was so big. He like just bought every oil company and monopolized it. So they came in, they broke it up.
So you've got to, so at some point we may need more regulation, but then also you've got governments trying to fight for control of their stock markets as well. So it's a really, really interesting thing. But I still think kind of maybe optimistically that, we'll see new blood in the stock market. I mean, even if you think really recently, how long was Apple at the top of the stock market for? A long, long, long time. At least it felt that way. And they're now third.
Yeah, and like many people would look at Apple and go, the shine has kind of worn off them a little bit, like their products. And it's funny, isn't it, that because 5-10 years ago, people were like, oh, never bet against Apple.
Yeah.
Apple are going to dominate. We'll all be wearing Apple microchips in our heads and all this kind of stuff.
And they still could. Thing is though, and they still make an absolute fortune.
Yeah.
It's just now how much more like
got an
growth
Apple
is priced
iPad
in, and how
there.
much. And they're just not thinking. So yes, say that, but we've all got Apple products on us. Basically, they own most of the market share of the.
I was about to say I'm the only one in the room without an Apple product because I got Samsung, and then Dame was like, "You got an iPad in your hand."
Yeah.
No, you got an iPad in your hand.
That was a clip from our chat with finance YouTuber Toby Newbat. To watch full episode, click right here.